Michael Frankel for CageMinds.com. It's fight week for B-Town Beatdown 3. Joining us, he's in the main event, Randy McCarty. Thank you for the time, sir. How are you feeling?
I'm doing good. Thank you for letting me come on.
Short notice fight, about 3 weeks notice. What does that mean to you?
Honestly, short notice has been my thing lately. I took a fight with Frank Lester on 3 days' notice. I've taken fights on a week's notice. So 3 weeks is actually the amount of time to train for a guy.
So then what kind of camp and how much time were you able to put in to specifically preparing for Mono?
3 weeks specifically for him, but I'm always training. There's no such thing as a camp in our gym. We train year-round after the same, ready for fights week in and week out.
And that's Red Spider MMA down in Las Cruces?
No, it's down in El Paso, but I live in Cruces, but I drive down to El Paso. It's the best gym around.
In El Paso, so what kind of commute is that like for you on a daily to make the train?
Well, 40 minutes one way. I go to work all day, 9 hours, turn around, I leave work from White Sands, I go down to El Paso, I train for 3 to 4 hours, then I come back up. Get all over.
So how long have you been doing that for? How long have you been working this gym?
I've been working for this gym for 5 years. It started off in Cruces, and just the way logistics and everything happened, we just changed up to moving down to El Paso. But there's no way I would train anywhere else. I haven't found a gym in this area that's better.
So, how much then, with this fight, are you cutting any weight for this fight, or is you just coming in at your walk-around weight with the 3 weeks?
The fight's at 190. I fight at 185 on that. I walk around 205 normally. Let that have a square time and get fat, but I haven't done that in a while. I've been pretty busy on my fighting. Pro fighter for a little over a year and a half, and I've had 9 fights already, so I don't try and get fat.
So with that, having 9 fights, a lot of people have complained about on the scene it's hard to find fights. What's been your key to being able to stay so active?
Not really getting out of shape. I watched this video that he had with you guys, and he said that he had 6 years where he's just been working out and doing his job, but I'm always ready. I'll accept the fight as long as my coach allows me to. I want to fight, and I know I'm an older fighter, so I don't have a lot of time. My goal is to fight as much as I can while I can. So the more I stay in shape and the more I keep the networking with all the promotions good, the more options I have.
Now, have you thought about taking a step back and maybe not, like 3 weeks you said sounded like a good time. Have you thought maybe 3 days was a little much to take a fight, or it's still just that mindset of you want to fight, so whatever comes along is good?
In some ways, I mean, it's hard to turn down a fight with a guy that has such a big name as Frank Lester did. And in shape-wise, that fight I didn't even cut. I mean, they called me 3 days, and I was like, no, I'm going to show where I'm at. And I walked into a fight. And I'm not going to, I shouldn't just take any fight ever. I want to have my coach and trust him and let him make the choices. But looking back at that, I had more cardio than Frank. He's a great fighter. He won the fight. I had a lot of fun fighting him. I'd love to fight him again. But I would want to do it where it's a timed out thing, because he's a much higher level fighter than what I'm. It was a big step up.
And one of these last 2 fights, really specifically the Clint Roberts fight and the Frank Lester fight, meant to you. They both started off as pretty epic wars, one fight ending with a big cut. You've had some high-level competition. What's the confidence, and what have you taken away from these last couple fights?
Oh, man, it's been an honor to fight those guys. One great thing about the fight after I got done with that was I was invited to go train at Jackson's. I've been able to do that a few times. It's been honorable to go work with such high-level guys. Frank Lester, he's a tough dude, and he taught me some parts of the game that I've changed and moved just because of the way he taught me. I learned and have been fighting different since then. In every fight you don't win, you should learn something from it. If you win, you should enjoy the win. And it's a tough top level, man. It's not like I'm not just sitting back taking scrubs, you know. If I'm going to just sit back, take scrubs, I have a great record, but I wouldn't have learned as much as I'd have throughout the fights I've had.
So, what does fighting mean to you? This journey that you're on, what does it mean to you?
It's an exciting challenge. I love fighting more than I ever realized. I grew up fighting. My dad taught me karate all my life. I've done sport karate. I've done boxing in the Navy. I've done jiu-jitsu tournaments and grappling tournaments and judo tournaments. And just the competition alone is super exciting. And then in a fight, an MMA fight, especially a professional fight, you have a team and it's a full team thing, but it's all mental and it's all it's all you when you're in the cage. You have your team, you have your coach telling you what to do in the corner, but you also have to stand out there, and if you make a mistake, everybody sees it. Everybody sees if you're running away from them and scared and not wanting to fight, or if you really want to fight. And I love getting fight of the night. Those are at least saying I got the fight of the night. I like having the crowd get excited, and to me, it's an exciting thing to be able to go in there and give everything I have, and if I failed all on my own. And if I succeed, I've succeeded with my team, and I really appreciate that type of work, because it's so real. You know, there's a few things you can't do, but for the most part, you put all your tests, all your thoughts, all this stuff. It's nice to say, well, I have a black belt in this, I have a brown belt in that, I have a purple belt in this, that type of stuff. But when you really put it to use in a fight, you see where your failures are, and you can always improve that way.
Talked about the mental side. Could you get a little more into that? Because, like we said, it's not every guy that's going to have a giant gash on their head and be smiling while the doctor's checking it out, not wanting the fight to stop. It's not every guy that's going to take on a tough veteran on 3 days' notice. I mean, tell us about that mental edge that you have.
I don't know if I have the mental edge. I get really spooked about stuff. I was freaking out the night before my Frank Lester fight. I called up my strength and conditioning coach. He's like, he does a lot of psychological stuff and everything, and I'm tripping right now. I was sitting in my room, sitting in bed, rehydrating, freaking out, like super scared. And I've never been that scared coming into a fight. I mean, I'm always afraid to watch because the fight you can get hurt pretty bad. But that when you push past that and learn how to mess with their mind and keep solid, that poker face, whatever you want to call it, it's a neat advantage to step past. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but I really enjoy it so much. The pain of the eye hurts the next day or a couple days later, but it really doesn't hurt that day. A lot of people are taking pictures with me afterwards, and I'm smiling and making faces. And like, you're nuts. Maybe I am nuts, but I have a blast doing it.
And you're ever the entertainer. Before that, even I was sitting there for the Clint Roberts fight cage side, and the breakdancing to your opponent's music. I heard there's a background story on that.
The first time I went to fight a Rage in the Cage in Phoenix, my coach says, "Hey, I don't want you to show them your hands," because they didn't know if I was a southpaw, they didn't know anything about me. There's no film on me. And I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting there and I go, "What do?" And he's like, "I don't care. You need to move, but I don't want you to move around in the cage, stay warm, but I don't want you to throw your hands." So, all right, well, at the class, during the class time and training, in between rounds, I dance. I don't just sit there and breathe. I dance, I move, off, and I listen to the music and have fun. And so I said, "Well, can I dance?" And he says, "Yeah, you can dance. I don't care." All right, cool. So I went out to dance, and I'm in Phoenix fighting a guy from Phoenix, and they call my name out, and nobody really... I didn't have a song that I went out to. I just went out to the Phenomena thing from the Muppets.
Oh.
And yeah, so they're kind of like, "This guy's a freak," you know, is the tone that I felt. And then the other guy came out to the M&M where he has the mom spaghetti thing.
Yeah.
And I started doing a dance, and there was a sold-out crowd, and I stole the crowd. I come out, I do my little dance, and I goofed up, and I turn around and smiled at my coach. I was like, "Yeah, that was good," you know, and he's well, good job, and he's laughing at me, because I'm a dangerous fighter when I'm happy. And so the guy's over there all pouting in his corner. I didn't pay attention. He just me afterwards. This corner was just pissed off at me that I was doing that. And then they said, the announcer comes up and says my name, and the crowd just screamed like crazy. And I was like, awesome. I waved at him and everything. And then they called his name, and he's from Phoenix. And everybody booed. I turned around and I looked at my coach, and I was like, I stole the crowd. I stole the crowd. And he was like, DJ in the game. But I was so excited that I stole the crowd, and I won that fight in 43 seconds. So I was excited to be able to do that. Like, okay, from now on, I'm dancing before every fight.
And so now it's been every pro fight?
Every fight I dance that, no matter what. I'll either dance their music or my own. Now I have my own music that I always come out to, so as long as they allow me to play that. Some venue don't let you play your own music, so not that I'll dance to theirs, but I like my own.
Nice. So now, heading up a little bit north, you're going to be in Belen for the main event. What does that mean to you, getting the main event showcase?
The fifth main event as a pro that I've had. So it's nerve-wracking. It's exciting and nerve-wracking. I'd rather either be the first pro fight or the last fight. But if I'm the last 50% of the time on my fight, it tells me that promotions are happy with me. They're happy with my fight style. They're happy with the fact that I go out there and bang, and I'm not out there doing anything dirty. I'm out there to fight a good fight and win if I can. And I'm a good fan about it. So it's a stressful thing to have them be the main event because it should mean something, But it was also an exciting part of my time because it tells me that I'm doing something right.
Manuel Otero, he's had 6 years away from fighting. I don't know if there's much film that you can look at on the guy. What has been preparing for this fight over the last 3 weeks been like then, trying to get a game plan together for Mono?
It's a pretty simple game plan. I mean, I know that he has a wrestling background. I don't know how much wrestling he does, but I know he has that background. And I know he's a pro boxer. I watched his pro boxing. He boxed against a southpaw. I'm a southpaw. So I watched how he reacted, what his feet work was. So realistically, I mean, his losses, a lot of them have been from chokes or arm bars. And I'm here to win, and to make a great show. But I want to bang. I want to make everybody have a blast. But I want to come out the victor. I do not want to have the judges involved with it. My only two decisions have been lost, and I do not want this decision. I'd rather whether it not ever go to the decision.
So, do you feel win or lose, that's a minor loss either way if you see that final bell, kind of?
I don't know if it's a loss, but I hate it. I don't like. I have a shirt that says "Never leave it to the hands of the judges," and I agree. They should not be there, especially for either a main event or a championship. There shouldn't be such thing. If I can't stop him and he can't stop me after 3 rounds, let's go to 5. If we can't go finish at 5, let's go to 6. I have the cardio to go 8 rounds, so let's do it. I'd rather it be that way and it be okay. I died and he kicked my butt, or he won and he died. Not a. I don't think it should be up to other people.
Totally agree with that. Every time I'm watching a big fight, I almost just, with the way judging is, even in its own self, how much you can't trust it, I've learned to just not even kind of be upset with the judges' decisions. Like, as a reporter, I just kind of wait to react to what it is, knowing that it could be wrong, just the process is flawed.
Right.
So then, moving on, what is something in the fight, though, that you feel you're going to need to get done to be able to get the victory? Something that you're going to have to get done, you feel that you're going to have to get done in this fight to get the victory.
Oh, okay. I'm going to push hard. I mean, he's been out for 6 years, and yes, he's been training. If he hasn't, he's not very smart, but he should train for me, and he should have the cardio, but I'm going to push his cardio. He used to fight at 170. I've heard that he's fought at 155 before, so he's a lot thicker than he used to be, and I was able to push Clint farthest, like, cardio than he ever set up. He said he was exhausted. And with Frank Lester, he said my cardio was great. So I they were getting exhausted. So I'm going to push him to the brink and make him want to quit and say this is not worth all the training that I had was not worth it.
You got a message for the fans?
Expect fireworks, expect a lot of fun, and come out and have a blast.
Eagle Park, in Belen, March 28th, B-Town Beatdown 3, Randy McCarty taking on Manuel Otero. Randy, thank you for the time. And last thing, who did you need to shout out to and thank?
I always need to shout out to my coach, Daryl Schoonover, and Red Spider team. I also want to thank Sean Lafleur, I think that's how you say his name, from the compound up in Oceanside, California, and Fight Ready in Phoenix. I've been able to do camps with both of those teams in the last couple of weeks, and I so appreciate them a lot of their gyms and work with people that I normally wouldn't get to fight with.
Thank you for the time. We'll see everybody at the fights.
Thanks, brother. Have a good one.